Hello and welcome, I am that James guy, and as you can tell by both the thumbnail and also the name of this video, we are going to be taking a first look at the latest EU4 DLC Emperor, which is coming out on Monday, the 9th of June. So, from the background music you can tell the game's loaded in. We are going to be jumping in right now, and we are going to be playing as Landshut, if I'm pronouncing that at all correctly. But either way, let's take the new DLC for a spin, shall we? So here we are, in-game. I've loaded in, we are on the 11th of November start date. I have not looked at it at all yet, so we will be enjoying this discovery together. Obviously I've been looking through all the patch notes and stuff, so I do know what changes there are. There's a whole bunch of mission trees. There's the new Holy Roman Emperor mechanics, which we will be taking a look at in a moment. I've not looked at this menu, but I must say it's pretty. There's the new estates mechanic, the new crown lands, which we'll be looking at in a minute. But right now we can see that from this new notification that we are actually not getting all of our tax modifier at the moment because we only own 30% of our land. We've got a gorgeous new flag, and Bavaria has some new provinces. So it looks like these two are the other sort of Bavarias based on the fact of their colour. Yeah, Ingolstadt and Munich. Munich seems to have a vassal in Passau. Well, we'll be looking to change that because I'm guessing to form Bavaria, we're going to require... Oh, we don't actually need Passau. We need Ingolstadt to either be owned or a non-tributary subject, and also Munich. Or we need to just own all the land. No, yes. So we need to own the provinces of Munich, Ingolstadt, and Landshut, or have them owned by a subject. And we need to have killed Munich and Ingolstadt, or have them as subjects that own less than 5 cities. And when we do that, we get permanent claims on Lower and Upper Bavaria and East Bavaria. We become Bavaria. Munich becomes the capital. We get some base tax. We get some prestige. Everyone is a winner. That means that there's new states, Lower, Upper, and East Bavaria. I'm guessing... Yeah, East Bavaria is Salzburg, Passau, and Inbern. Inbern? Upper is West Bavaria, which seems to be Ingolstadt stuff. That isn't actually in Bavaria, interestingly enough, but we might as well get it because Ingolstadt's someone we need to kill. And then Lower Bavaria is the rest up here, including Oberpfalz, which means that... And Regensburg as well. Regensburg's a free city, so that's going to be fun to have to deal with. So I guess step 1, let's sort out our rivals. Palatinate, Salzburg, Würzburg for rival us. Oh, I didn't need to check that. We apparently have a new UI mechanic for that. That's quite useful, actually. That is a really nice little change. Well, we're going to rival Palatinate and Salzburg. And probably Würzburg. Not 100% convinced. That's a good call, though. Other option includes Ingolstadt and Munich. Munich seems a bit bigger than us. Ingolstadt seems a bit smaller. We'll probably be going after Munich. Ingolstadt just doesn't like us. But yeah, let's rival Munich as another option. Take a look at the economy. It's doing as well as it can. We're a pretty poor nation. We will lower the maintenance of Landshut. So there's lots of new stuff added to this. So we are going to be just taking a careful look to make sure that we're not missing anything. That seems as it was before, as does that page. Diplomacy is still diplomacy, so I doubt we're going to see anything different there. Economy, again, that's fine. Ooh, war taxes is available. Okay, so instead of just being able to raise that during war, we can raise it whenever we like, and it just costs mill power. Means if we have like a tier 6 mill ruler and we're not saving up mill points for stuff, you could just leave that on all the time. And actively as well with the Age of Discovery thing, does this still... That still also works the same. Reduces the cost by 100%, which means we could just leave war taxes on all the time. That's quite good, actually. Trade, nothing new. Technology, I doubt there's anything new, though there is a new institution. Is this one the industrialization one, I believe? Or was that from something else? Either way, that's good. Ideas, some of these will have been changed with the changes to mercenaries and stuff. So, administrative still seems pretty powerful. with the mercenary manpower and things, and, well, we don't have plutocratic, but I know that also has mercenary stuff. Aristocratic is still giving us mercenary manpower. A lot of that could come in handy. We will take a look at mercenaries in a minute. This is Bavaria's mission tree. I wonder if it will extend. It doesn't look like it does, as these are all about expanding into Greater Germany, Austria, so on and so forth. We've got try and get electors. This was in the generic tree before as a HRE minor. Just get electors, become emperor, fight a war, and have Reichsreforms. We've got this piety thing, which requires us to have a cardinal, the papacy to like us, and papal influence. That requires us to have buildings and development in our capital, and that requires us to be Bavaria and have our army. And that gives us permanent claims on, yeah, those territories that are harder for us to gain, like Oberpfalz and Salzburg and Regensburg. Two of those, Salzburg and Regensburg, will be protected by the Emperor in some way or form. Salzburg is quite often claimed by Austria fairly quickly, and Regensburg's a free city, so they get automatically called in to wars with them. Yeah, and Oberpfalz is quite a serious deal, because that's a elector's province. Once we own those places, and we own 10 provinces, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, which will be basically once we consolidate the Bavarian region, we get claims on Upper and Lower Franconia, which... Yep, we basically move north, makes our country this sort of shape, and that gives us claims on Swabia, which allows us to move this way. It's sort of promoting that we do it in that order, and that also gives us claim on Baden, which is over here, which would make us a fairly sizable South German sort of federation type thing. We've also got Unite the Wittelsbachs once we manage to expand Bavaria, which gives us claims on Tyrol and the Rhine, and it seems like it means that we can... take over the Platinate's electorate and enforce the personal union on them. That's quite interesting. And then we sort of get into a punch-up with Bavaria, enforce unions on them, go after Cologne. Again, there's an event chain, apparently, with the second and genitor. Brandenburg, Italy. I'm guessing at that point we're trying to form the HRE and or Germany. The development stuff is fairly self-explanatory. It gives us development, makes us more splendorous, and so on and so forth. Once we own a lot of grain, we can form the Oktoberfest. That's an end, until the end of the game, country modifier. Makes us in the capital, I'm guessing, so that would be Munich by the time we do it. Will give us production efficiency and development cost, which is good. Oh, and once apparently we have a lot of stuff all over Germany, we can, whatever that is, Bavarian culture must take pride of place among the realms of the German people, which gives Bavarian cultural dominance, presumably over, like, the whole of the Germans. Unite the Wittelsbach, claim Tyrol, and then the piety stuff. This is to do with the Reformation, so the first step is all about being strong with Pope Man. Second step is 50 years after the Reformation has begun, have a university in Bavaria and have a neighbouring country that does not follow a heretic religion. We get relations, presumably, with everyone on our border, and we get morale, and then that allows us to do this. So is that trying to say that we should stay Catholic? I'm guessing it could do, and then we can deal with the Illuminati. So that's a quick look at the mission tree. Obviously, we've got the new decision with Form Bavaria. The rest of this seems fine. There's no base policies. Governing capacity is a new mechanic. It is all about basically not overextending expansion. So it works fairly similar to overextension, except that's about expanding too quickly. This is about getting too big too quickly and trying to incorporate it into states. So we'll keep an eye on that. Religion, Defender of the Faith, is tiered. The higher the tier, the more boni we get, or bonuses we get from that. Hussites, Orthodoxes, and Coptics. This is all fairly self-explanatory. We'll play with the Pope stuff as we get the Popey things happening. Military, yep, sure, that all seems fairly reasonable. We will mothball all our forts and automatically raise them. That's cool. Do we want to make our commander a military leader, or do we want to roll on general? First of all, we'll see if we can still roll generals with the nobility. Right, The biggest thing change so far is states. So it looks like we own 20% of our land is owned by the clergy, we'll call it 40% by the nobility, 10% with the burghers, and we own just shy of 30% ourselves. Each of these increase the nobility loyalty equilibrium by 7.9% and give them a level of influence. I'm guessing that means that loyalty will drift towards their equilibrium each month by an amount. Stands to reason. And their equilibrium is based on land ownership, our army tradition, our prestige, and our legitimacy. I'm guessing this will be based on our religious unity, and therefore this one by our trade. No, mercantilism. Fair enough. Crown land. Is this a sliding modifier? At 40%, 20% we have no penalties. Holding less than 20% will give us penalties. Presumably owning more than 40% will give us bonuses. Stands to reason. Tax modifier, and also liberty desire from subjects. Liberty desire from subjects development, precisely. We can sell off land for money. Probably very strong if you own lots of your country and you need a quick cash injection. Summon diet. That gives everyone some influence and some loyalty and gives an agenda. That's that column. Seize land, which is the exact opposite of selling it, but we get to control more at their expense. And then these allow us to add privileges. Let's take a look at the clergy first. It seems like there's quite a lot here, actually. First of all, land rights. That increases our governing capacity modifier. That is clearly not much use to us because, well, we're quite a way away from having 200 quite a way away from being at 200 capacity. So that's kind of pointless, isn't it? Papal emissary. We can't do it anyway because we don't have a cardinal, but it will give us papal influence. Increase the cost of courier powers. I guess if we're going after papal controller, that would be quite a useful way to get the influence going. We can become a religious state or more religious, which reduces the clergy loyalty. That's interesting. We lose crown land as well by enacting it, and we lose absolutism, but we gain a monarch power a month. So that's actually probably quite powerful, especially if you have a weak ruler. We might be using that quite a lot. Just quickly, what is our ruler like? Our ruler's good and our heir's good, so we probably won't be doing that right away, but it could be useful. Clerical Advisory Council is making administrative advisors cheaper at the cost of stability, so you'd be more reliant on events. I guess that saves ducats but costs monarch power, so you're trading a small amount of ducats. A small amount of monarch power for a small amount of ducats. If you've got high-level advisors, that's probably quite a good one to have on. Missionary maintenance costs, that's kind of clearly useless at the moment. We don't have any missionary uses. Oversight by clergy seems to just literally give them influence and give them loyalty at the cost of nothing. I guess the absolutism mechanics aren't enabled yet, so we probably will just fire that up. I mean, the loyalty will presumably give us more tax modifier, and the influence will also give them more loyalty equilibrium, so that's probably quite good. Expansion zealotry. That also loses us 5 papal influence. I wasn't looking quite at the second column, but this one clearly does. It gives us a 5% morale bonus when at war with heretics or heathens, and a 5% penalty if at war with heretics and heathens, at the cost of a 5% penalty all the time. That seems kind of bad. Unless that means that you get... I'm not sure that's balanced particularly well, so we aren't touching that. And then monopoly on wine. We gain the production money up front and the mercantilism, give them loyalty, but we don't get any passive income from the wine. I believe this is our only wine province. 0.13. If we call it 0.12 to get to 12, that's like 100 years of... Not 100 years. 100 months of wine production income. Which is like, what? Is that many years? 10 years? 120 months? It probably is actually 10 years of production income up front at the cost of not being able to revoke it for 10 years. So I guess if you are gaining production in that province, it kind of doesn't do anything for you, but you get I guess we will do that, actually. Again, the max absolutism doesn't matter as we are not absolutist. We cannot use those mechanics. Sorry, I'm just clicking off my Discord notifications. The other one that I think we definitely wanted to press was oversight by clergy, just to increase loyalty and influence a little bit. So that has increased... their loyalty passively ticks up. That's interesting. So their equilibrium's now at 60%, so it will take some time for that to become a thing, actually. That, however, went up straight away. Okay. Nobility now. So those two are identical. Nobility in the officer corps requires army tradition, and it gives us army tradition decay and cheaper generals, but costs an upfront amount of army tradition. Increased levies. That's quite a big manpower modifier, a cost of tax modifier, done by how much land the nobility own. But a 40% manpower modifier is pretty big at the cost of 10% tax, basically. Cheaper mill advisors, stability cost, so that is the same as the admin one from the clergy. Right of council, again, that's the same as the oversight by clergy. And supremacy over the crown. Estates can pursue an agenda at any time, rather than just when we press the magical diet button. And clergy loyalty equilibrium and burgher loyalty equilibrium. Well, in fact, equilibrium, everyone goes up by 10%. At the cost of the agendas, and I imagine the agendas are probably quite useful, so we will do that, actually. And I think we will go ahead and do the rights of council as well. I mean, that does give them influence, but will also raise their loyalty, which raises the manpower speed bonus. Burgher's time now. Again, identical to before. That's the same as the army tradition one. That's different. Prestige for tax. Now, given that prestige actually increases our trade income, if you're a trading nation, that would be quite good. If you're playing England or something, the prestige from that's quite nice for a cost of a small amount of tax. I think we probably will pop that, to be honest. Any others that look interesting? Lose 5% trade efficiency for 5-year loans at, call it basically no interest. And it's removed when we repay them. At the cost of... So that would be quite good, actually. If we're in war and we want a few loans just to get us a mercenary company or whatever, we might come back to that. Free enterprise is the free one. We will do that. And control of monetary policy. 5% power costs for the inflation reduction, interest per annum, and production efficiency. We might look at that when we get a bit bigger and production becomes a larger proportion of our income, but those all seem fairly reasonable. We will also summon a diet. Boom, bada boom. The agenda of the diet. The estates of the Landshut have proposed agendas for the summoned diet. Favouring one of the estates here could have large benefits in the long term. The clergy bemoan the poor regard of the Pope in our nation. They call for us to reaffirm our standing as good Christians by solidifying our relations with Roma. The nobility are worried at Landshut's diplomatic isolation. They advocate that we find friends. The burghers request that we invest money into making more money. So that's what, going to be about 100 dip power for 12 ducats. Not sure that's worth it, really. And we gain 10 loyalty. The nobility require us to have 2 allies, and that gives us dip rep and nobility loyalty. The clergy requires us to just make the Pope like us, and that gives us 10 loyal. I think we'll go with that one. And we'll just whack a dude into the Pope to make friends. Now, we also need to sort out our merchants real quick. Collecting from the trade, please and thank you. And you can... I guess it's probably more worthwhile to steal from Krakow. Krakow, even. Low Crown Land. I guess that only lowers their loyalty by 20, but it's gonna... Just for the purposes of testing, I want to see if the equilibrium will change. Because I know that's now annoyed them all. The equilibrium's still the same, so the equilibrium will tick back up, and we own some more stuff, so we've got rid of that penalty. Which means we're now earning a tiny little bit more income. I think we're pretty much there on the initial setup. Do we want to spend some money to go up to our force limit? 6, 7, 8, 9. We will also summon forth our... I don't want either of our heir or our leader to die, so we will summon forth him and just tell them to drill. I think drilling's probably still a good idea. Just turn the music down ever so slightly. Let's unpause. Oh, we need to make friends. We do need allies. Completely forgot about that. Let's make friends. Württemberg, they're pretty big. Friends, please. Thank you. Let's wait for our alliance man to come back. Saxe-Lauenburg, a bit far away. Anhalt, a bit far away. No one really wants to be friends. You are probably the best at Strasbourg. He's sort of in region, as it were. Royal marriages with Austria would be good, because we can also make friends with them. If that means that Austria will also ally us, that would be quite nice. They would not accept, but I guess if we were to improve relations with them, that would be quite good. Württemberg, yes, of course we will marry you. God, all the cheers are a bit loud. Let's just modificate the volume of some of those effects. There we go. We probably can't afford an advisor. We will go on to military national focus so we can get the first mil tech. It's a good one, the first one. Mil tactics plus 0.25. It's always a good thing. The surrender of Maine. England declares war on France with restoration of Union, Casus Belli. France gets control of Maine. Well, we'll see how that goes. Could go badly for them. Oh, Bavarian succession, our first flavour event. The words are hard. The Wittelsbach Duchy of Bavaria has been split in various parts since the middle of the 14th century. At present, the duchy is divided between 3 different branches of the family, those of Munich, Landshut, and Ingolstadt. Various complicated arrangements regulate which branch of the family should inherit the lands of any duke who may die without male heir. However, these arrangements are not always above dispute, and a strong duke may try to aggrandize himself with his relatives' land no matter whether his claim is entirely just. We get restoration of Union CBs. I like it. Well, now the question is, who have they made friends with? Hungary and Brigands, oh dear, and Augsburg and Ulm. Well, we could probably take on Ingolstadt then. And we could probably take on Hungary if Austria liked us, so we will improve relations there as well. That was the new Kingdom of Rome event that I accidentally just clicked past. That's about raiding in the princes. Let's just take a while. We'll let the game go at like speed 3 while we just take a look at the Holy Roman. Sometimes I hate how you can't move things. Imperial Authority looks fairly unchanged. It's gained and lost by much the same things as before. Dominant Faith is up there. Now, there are 2 routes through your Reichsreforms. You can go down this route up here, which is... Does it require that you do these first, perhaps? I don't know. But either way, so you've got these reforms, which are basically the same as they were before, and they give benefits to everyone. Imperial provinces get local construction and development cost. That's good. And the CB on non-members holding imperial territory. We've got Reichsregiment, which gives the Emperor diplomats and diprep, and the imperial provinces get local unrest. That's actually a benefit for the Emperor as well. Imperial provinces get cheap estates maintenance. Good. Emperor gets bonus tax income. All in Empire get diprep. Perpetual Diet. A permanent location will be established for the Diet to convene in. Imperial Authority from 3 cities. Cool. HRE mercenary recruitment cost. That's good. And that one gives tech cost to everyone in the Empire. Imperial provinces get institution spread and Emperor gets prestige. But internal HRE wars are no longer viable. You can no longer do them. The decentralization branch, so they're mutually exclusive. The Emperor can only go down one path. Does that mean if, like, say, Austria starts going down this path, does that mean I then can't go down this path if I were to become the Emperor? Well, we don't know. But either way, decentralization means there can be more free cities. The Emperor gets, depending on number of princes, manpower. Electors get, depending on number of princes, manpower. Empire provinces are faster to move through. Words that I can't read at the top. The Reichenschaft. Emperor gets another elector to assign. Emperor gets, depending on number of princes, Imperial Authority growth modifier. Jetil marked. Electors get the tax income. That's quite a big deal. Imperial provinces get cheaper development cost. And Reichskrieg. Mobilize the Empire's forces against all who may seek to threaten it. Allow the Emperor to create a CB on any nation not currently in the Empire. Emperor and electors will be able to raise war taxes for free while at war with enemies of the Holy Roman Empire. So is this route basically all about making the Empire huge, but not under the direct control of the Emperor? So it becomes more like a federation from Stellaris. That's pretty cool. Just noticed we're losing money. I mean, you can continue drilling. I'm guessing that's the main problem here. The fort's not maintained. There's not a lot we can do about that. We're just going to have to cope with being poor. And the centralization route is all about presumably integrating the Empire. Emperor, but benefits only, I'm guessing we're going to see. Cheaper cores from the Emperor. Emperor gets Imperial growth modifier. The Holy Roman Empire will sign a treaty of religious peace. The HRE will now always be inherited by the same country. Okie dokie. Revoke the privileges. All members will become a vassal or leave the Empire. Yeah, and then finally we unite the HRE into a single country. We probably will try and do this, but we've got to form Bavaria first. Let's whack up the speed once more and start making some progress. We want to ally with the Emperor, with Herr Austria, which shouldn't be too hard, to be honest. Once we've got that alliance in place, we will start pressing these claims. It looks like if Ludwig VIII of Wittelsbach dies, there's a succession war between Denmark and Munich. And if the Emperor of Munich dies... Oh, he's finally got an heir. He literally got an heir that tick. I wonder if it's worth... I guess we can't marry either of them because they dislike us. Unhappiness among the clergy. Let's go for the papal influence and the clergy loyalty. That was a straight 10 clergy loyalty, so they're back at 50% already. We will have done that soon. We're not far away. And I suppose if money gets bad, we've got the free burger loans that we can always take. We've now looked at that, so let's look at the papacy stuff. There's a golden bull, the Christiana Pietas. Yep, or Pietas, probably, actually, thinking about it. Dev cost minus 5%. Golden bulls are bonuses that the papal controller can enact using the curia coffers that benefit all Catholics. Oh, God. Some stuff's happened. Let's look at that in a moment. So, all Catholic countries currently have cheaper dev cost. That's interesting. Spend papal influence to get a chance to become curia controller. Reform desire. Curia coffers contain 53 ducats every month as a demonstration of faith. Catholic countries all around the world will offer a tithe to the curia to fill the treasury. The estimate of the tithe for this month is 9 ducats, depending on the amount of land the clergy has in Catholic countries. Okay, interesting, interesting. I wonder if that means like stuff like forgive usury and things will impact the curias. It doesn't seem like they do. It doesn't impact. There's nothing that allows us to take money out of there. Oh, we can buy indulgences for our sins that we will gain a yearly papal influence for 5 years by spending ducats to go into the curia coffer. I guess the curia coffers relate to the papal bull. But without becoming the papal controller, it's going to be a bit hard to do that. We helped Austria. Prince Consort of our illustrious Count Marguerite has brought a request from his family. Yes, we do want to do that because, frankly, we want to make friends with Austria. And that gives us the admin power back from helping them. So we made a profit on that little exchange. We're close to being able to have an alliance with them. One more monthly tick and we can do it. Or not. Well, there's our papal influence. We've got our agenda. We can't call another diet, but we may well get the thing pop up that says, congratulations, there is a diet at hand. There we go, they will accept our alliance. Do that, get him back, offer the alliance. Perfect, everyone is a winner. We can also now remove hair relation improvement from the Pope. Right, so, Munich. If we were to declare war on you, what would be the situation? We would be at war with Hungary, Magdeburg, Bregenz. That's pretty bad. We can't handle that. If we were to go to war with you, Herr Ingolstadt, what would you be the deal? Augsburg and Ulm. Well, Ulm's there. Württemberg would join if we said you could have land. I'm liking this interface. It tells us that we have more troops than them and less manpower. I could probably wipe the Ingolstadt troops straight away. Sorry, there will be a bit of a strange cut there. Basically, someone knocked at the door. Anyway, I was basically signing off, so thank you very much for watching this video. I've been that James guy. That's been a first look. We will be continuing our Bavarian beer drinking adventure, and trying to get the Oktoberfest up and running. Yeah, so if you are watching this on the Saturday when the press embargo releases, I will be streaming at that time. There will be a link downstairs in the description that will be telling you the stream is live, and I will remove that after the fact. So if you click that, you can come and catch me. I will be playing multiplayer at some point with Hjalfnar from History Game Verified, so if you want to see us duking it out for the Empire, you can do that there. Anyway, I'll see you in a few seconds as I'll be recording the next part right now, so please do like, subscribe, leave a comment downstairs if you've liked some of the new features from Emperor, and we'll be continuing very soon. Thank you, and have a good one.